If you haven't seen the tweet of death by the cult leader, on April 7th, 2026 at 8:06 a.m., Trump tweeted, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in a long, complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran." The Mad King is insane. I want to be an American that goes on the record and say that. The Mad King is insane. The people around him are despicable, disgusting human beings. This is a murderous street gang turned into a cabal and a regime. If he will probably stroke out before he ever makes it to court in the United States or at The Hague, where he probably belongs, same place we threw all the assholes under Slobodan Milosevic in the Yugoslavian war in the 90s. All those war criminals. He's talking about mass murder. He's not talking about war. And if this is what our foreign policy and our defense policy has turned into, we need something radically different. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Who fucking talks like this? Patricia says Trump and Hegseth should go to the Hague. Yes. Yeah, I just said that. I agree. They can sit in a cell next to the Serbian and the Croatian war criminals. Because this is a direct call for mass murder of an entire nation. How insane this is. Now, I will preface this. We didn't have any more material to make another core. We had a third core, which was called the Demon Core, but that was our test core. We didn't have a fully assembled third core to drop on Japan after Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So when we told Japan, you better surrender, total surrender, or we're going to hit you again, we bluffed. We didn't have another bomb ready. But even with the horror of atomic weapons at Nagasaki and Hiroshima, all we did was take out 2 targets. Now, we can have a long discussion about those 2 targets. Okay? But we never threatened. Truman never threatened. Roosevelt never threatened. MacArthur never threatened to wipe out the Japanese civilization, never to be brought back again. No one ever said that. Because when you say that, you're not talking about war. You're not talking about defeating your military enemy. You're just talking about murdering every civilian within a geographical space. This is the equivalent of burning down the house with a family in it because they reported on 911 there was a burglar in the house. We show up with gallons of gasoline and burn the whole place down with them in it. There we go. We solved the burglary. This is a call for mass murder. Do you understand the downstream of taking out power, water, sewage in major cities? Okay. Asking how many major cities are in Iran and if they're San Jose sized or bigger. San Jose is about 250,000 people, probably closer to 300,000 now. But you're talking millions, you're talking 91 million people live in Iran, and he just threatened to murder them all. That's not a flex. This is actually it is. It's a moronic alpha bro flex. He probably got from alpha bro Pete Hegseth. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say? 250,000. They almost a million in San Jose now. What am I talking about? 9 cities in Iran are San Jose sized or bigger. Um, so used roughly a million, and you get 9 cities, including Tehran, Musad, and Saras, and Tabriz. Okay, you cut off the water, the power, and the sewage. People start going hungry immediately. The sewage problem backs up. You have fresh water problems plus a sewage problem. The children, especially babies, will start getting to digestion diseases such as dysentery. That will cause children to start dying in mass. How many megalotropolises do they have? Now, I want to say something to other people, and I'll call out one because I just saw his tweet. But Joe Walsh just said, "Oh, soldiers can't follow illegal orders." They're already following the orders. The attacks are underway, according to Reuters and AP. What orders are they not going to follow? This is just wishful thinking. Under Trump and under the chaos of the global war on terror, we've turned our military into something it should never be. It's now a robbery unit and a mass murder unit. We're going to rob and murder people in Venezuela, and then we're going to go all fucking helter skelter in Iran, and we're going to call it the United States military service. No, I'm fucking not down with that. Yeah, Mossad is a megatropolis. It's got 3.5 million people in roughly in 2025, and Esfahana, sorry, I don't speak Arabic or Farsi. It's 2.3 million. Okay, so you got basically 2 Bay Area megatropolises. In Iran. So yeah, you shut off the power and you shut off the water and you turn off the sewage services. You interrupt or destroy their supply chain, which means you eliminate their food supply in most cities. Because all modern cities have the same problem we do. Okay, we're all stuffed into the megatropolis like rats in a cage. Okay, air pollution's a problem. Delivering water continuously is a problem, especially at scale, especially as the earth warms up. So as Trump threatens to mass murder 91 million people, either directly or through famine, disease, starvation, in the next year, it doesn't matter. It's the same causality. God, this is upsetting. This is like the Mad King from Game of Thrones. And the thing is, whoever follows dear leader porn star Humper, the madman who wants to mass murder everybody. And here's my fear. I'll put my fear right out. This was my reaction when I saw the tweet this morning. I said, he will do this if he can get away with it. And then he's going to turn around and do it to an American city. Because one thing with madmen, they don't stop. I've talked about serial criminals and the serial criminal mind before on this platform. Okay. Sex offenders are serial offenders. That's why you never let a peeping Tom, you never let a flasher go. That's a rapist in making. Psychologists, psychiatrists out here, plus the Quantico profilers have all said that. Patricia has said he will go after the blue states as fast as he can. Most likely a blue state, yes. But realize that Memphis is in a red district, but it's a blue enclave within a larger red space, and he may want to start consolidating his power bases because there's critical things in Memphis like Grok data center, which all the locals don't like because reportedly they're having brownouts over the electricity, and to compensate for this, they're using really shitty fuels to do local power generation. So it could be anything that triggers him. But the thing is, once he does this in Iran, all bets are off. He'll do it anywhere. He'll do this to Cuba. He will level Cuba to punish them to not surrendering to the Mad King. This is medieval shit. This is Genghis Khan shit. You guys ever listen to Dan Carlin, the history guy, hardcore history? One of the best podcasters of all time. Hands down, one of the best. Okay. And I think generally a pretty sane, thoughtful, intelligent guy. I've seen a lot of interviews outside of his podcasts, and I like the guy. But he did the best podcast ever. What was it, 4 or 5 part series on Genghis Khan? Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. So well done. Yeah, Genghis Khan did this shit. Now, he was more of a gentleman about it than dear leader porn star Humper, for sure. He would send in an emissary to the village, the town, the district, wherever he's camping out outside of, and he goes, okay, yeah, if you just pay your homage and, accept my rule, all is good. We won't kill anybody. We won't rape any of the women. We won't take any women hostage. And, your kids are fine. Your goats are fine. Just pay up. And if they did, he didn't hurt anybody. He moved on to the next. Trump's not talking about that. He's just talking about the total destruction of a people, while he talks about things like keeping the oil again. Is this going to go to his slush fund in Qatar? He's going to kill all the Iranians, send in Americans to go take over the oil infrastructure, and then create a larger slush fund in Qatar controlled by his campaign donor, not the U.S. Treasury? Is this the end game? Oh, how about the tolls he wants on the Strait of Hormuz? He's talked about that too. He's going to set up a toll booth on the Strait of Hormuz, and everybody has to pay him. Does that go to his slush fund in Qatar too? James Madison has to be rolling over in his grave. Oh, they all have to. George Washington. Even the crazier ones like Hamilton. I mean, or the guys who liked war, like Lafayette. Lafayette was a French aristocrat. A lot of Americans don't know who he is. He's one of the biggest reasons America exists, because he showed up with his French forces and decided to help us fight the British. And he did it because he's kind of a sporting guy. Nobody, Betsy Ross, John Jay, nobody would have been down with this. Ben Franklin would have gone into full auditor mode and scold these stupid shits if anybody suggested America should be doing something of this style of escapade. It's an affront. I mean, none of this. And I didn't serve for any of this. Not in the military, not in the paramilitary. I didn't serve for any of this. Not for this purpose. This is wrong. All because, like my friend told me, and I think he's lost a friend. I think that conversation was the last conversation we're ever going to have. Because if you think there's a magical door in Narnia and you're willing to kill 91 million people to find your little magical door in the little closet in the girl's bedroom and find that lion with a crown on his head, just like the book, fuck you all. You're acquiescing to a crazy person, an immoral, unethical huckster who's gone mad with power. Nobody's not going to listen to orders. You think pilots are gonna stand down instead of doing what they're trained to do and what they want to do, bomb shit? This is what we told them. The whole world is just there for our target practice. That's what the global war on terror trained our military to think. We play whack-a-mole, we kill people. We do not make a world a better place. The tech companies do not make the world a better place. Remember that slogan they kept saying at HBO Silicon Valley? And our military does not make the world a better place. Even with the humanitarian missions that are genuinely humanitarian, when you get done with the equation at the end, are we a force for good on planet Earth? No. Are all the members of Congress sitting in bunkers with their hands over their ears instead of getting back to DCs and stopping this now? I don't know what Congress is doing, to be honest, Patricia. I don't know. Are they doing their jobs? No. I know what they're not doing. They're not doing their job. They're not doing their constitutional duty. James Madison would be screaming at the Senate pro tem right now. But this is the result of 40 years of American decay. 40 years of using the military as whack-a-mole troops. Now that whack-a-mole is robbery operations and mass murder. But it's all justified because you have some outcome that is some magical endpoint in this situation. You can't explain your military goals, your strategy to get to that goal, other than in terms of mass murdering 91 million people. And we have to be honest with ourselves as American citizens. We didn't hold up our end of the bargain. You know why Trump has so much power? Because of the genterocracy in Congress. A bunch of old fucking fools. And I'm talking Mitch McConnell as much as I'm talking Nancy Pelosi. We have left old fools in Congress, and instead of working to fix America's problem, those two systems in Congress, in the left-right orthodoxy, just built two competing fiefdoms, not caring that the whole country was fucking decaying while they were building their fiefdom. And they don't care. People in Congress do not care. As long as they get their lobbyist dollars, as long as they get their free travel on their campaign donors' private planes, do they give a fuck? No. This is absolute proof. This morning is absolute proof. Okay. Oh, anybody who says they think Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffrey are good politicians or good leaders, fucking slap them right beside the fucking head. They're fucking idiots. Tell them they're sycophants to morons. They're fucking cowards. Lectern Coward Brigade. They're the Washington arm of the Uvalde Howard Hallway Brigade. You know, what would have happened if the black guy who ruined America, actually you can see his little bobblehead doll right there. I love fucking with my really liberal and progressive friends here in the Bay Area. They're like, oh my God, you have an Obama doll? And I'm like, yeah, I gave a whole bunch of money to him. My wife bought it after I gave him a ton of money as kind of a joke. But there was no way I was backing up John McCain after he picked Sarah Palin. No fucking way. Okay. And then some of the batshit things that started coming out as an agenda for the Republicans, I was like, nope, voting for the other guy. And I got so worried. And this is what I bust my liberal friends' balls over. They go, oh man, did you support Obama? And I turn the question around. I go, did you support Obama? Did you give him money? Did you like do phone banks for him? My wife did like 300 phone calls for Obama. Okay. I gave so much money, I had to fill out forms. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. Gave him a shot. Now, in the end, kind of disappointed in the end. Okay. But still think it was a better choice. And that's what pisses me off about Trump being back in office in the second term. Americans have problems picking just common sense choices. Do you take the whack job from Alaska? The Sarah Palin was the OG wacky. She was wacky before Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lowen Bulbert. Okay. Republicans and conservative independents should have looked at that shit, because John McCain had like 12 other better choices. And he didn't pick them. Now, I thought she was a healthy populist at first until I started really reading about her. And I quickly found out that, yeah, she has a couple of little talking points that sound okay. But then when you get into the meat and potatoes as her as mayor and then her as governor, it's not a pretty picture. Not a pretty picture. It's as bad as Kristi Noem and when she was in the Dakotas as a local politician and a governor. But all these Bernie bro assholes, Bernie gals, Anna Kasparian, that fucking whack job. Oh, if I don't get Bernie the communist, I'm going to burn the barn down. Well, that's funny. That's exactly what MAGA wants. Thanks for playing into their hands. You didn't get who you wanted, so you said, fuck it, vote for Trump. All the fucking comedians did the same thing. Not all the comedians, the left guys, like, and the sane guys like Nick Offerman never fucking went over there, but there was a big chunk. The Tim Dillon crowd. Oh, I'm not getting my happies, so let's all laugh and vote in the Mad King. And then there's the lazy motherfuckers. I really blame the lazy people. You can't get your ass off the couch one day a year and do your goddamn civic duty. But then you think you have the right to bitch about everything when it goes wrong. Like I forget the other day, I looked up the number. I can't recall the exact percentage, but it was a frightening number of American adults who have never voted in their lives. But I'm sure they're on TikTok bitching about something about the government this and the government that. But they've never contributed 1 ounce of effort toward getting a person in government who makes fucking sense. Now, I can't verify this, and I didn't know if I was going to say this or not, but I saw on Malcolm Nax's channel and 2 others. I think this is a low order of probability personally, but the fact that they're putting this out as propaganda, or this is really a possibility as an action item in their heads, they're talking about, oh no, not nukes, but tactical nukes. No, we drop anything that's not a conventional. It's open season on planet Earth. This invites Putin to drop a bomb on Kyiv and just take it off the map. This can encourage Kim Jong-un to do something stupid against South Korea or Japan or New Zealand or Australia. Okay, this is uncorking the powder keg here. And all the rah-rah crowd, fuck you. Fuck you. There's always an enemy hiding behind the bush. The Ryan Macbeths, fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, I could, as a city cop, I can just get a flamethrower mounted onto an armored personnel carrier, the fucking police tank, and I can just start burning down the homes of the people I think are the bad people who don't deserve to be here because they're not making America great again. I can find the enemies behind the bushes, and I can go crazy like Slobodan Milosevic and his goddamn military commanders went, and I can just start murdering people. What does that solve other than you committing crimes? Yeah, the world's a bad place. Okay? It wasn't until my son was in his late 20s, my oldest son, and I just told him, I never really talked about the stuff I did when I was younger because the dark side is a lot darker than most civilians understand. And I mean a lot darker. You work undercover for a few years like I did, you see the underbelly of civilization. And even when you're in nice countries, peaceful countries, the underbelly is bad. But because the underbelly exists, you get to commit mass murder under a broken ideology, which is nothing short of complete horseshit. There's nothing that justifies you starting to mass murder people in Iran, whether directly with 500-pound bombs or killing the kids with dysentery or starvation or dehydration in the desert some weeks, months, or a year from now. That's all illegal. That's all immoral. That's all unethical. That is all dishonorable. All you fucking far leftists, Kamala Harris isn't good enough. Fuck you. The deaths of the Iranians, the millions of people who are about to die, that blood is on your hands too, not just Trump's. Never mind MAGA, the cult who backed him to the hilt. Oh, and by the way, he's lost his core backing. Did you guys see the tweet from Trisha Rogers? It starts with, he is insane. Okay. Trish Rogers isn't his base, isn't his supporter. Trish Rogers is Trump's core support. She's the epicenter of political support for dear leader. Okay. She says she wants to talk about the 25th Amendment immediately. This is how bad it is. Now circle back to the Anna Kasparians, the far leftists on YouTube and Instagram, where Kamala wasn't good enough. I really seriously doubt Kamala Harris would order the deaths of 91 million people. So she could set up a toll booth in the Strait of Hormuz and keep the oil. When the fucking morons online say voting doesn't matter, shut the fuck up. We just proved beyond any doubt that voting fucking matters. And again, if people would have got their fucking lazy ass off the couch for once in the last goddamn 10 years, we wouldn't be dealing with this shit. Because if he does start wiping out a civilization, do you know what's going to happen to the global economy? It's going to go south pretty quick. Because every asshole in the world is going to think it's time. Every terrorist group, every proxy, every crazy nation state, Putin in Ukraine, everybody's going to lose their shit at once. And there goes the global economy. Make planet Earth poor again. All because you thought Kamala Harris wasn't good enough. Or you were on the far right side. Oh, she wears pants. That's not what Jesus wanted. Jesus wasn't an alpha bro, moron. And everybody who wanted an out, everybody who wanted to vote for him, everybody who wanted to be a dick, fuck all you all. You set America up for failure. You couldn't choose between a rational choice and utter disaster looking at you square in the face. I mean, I really think some of the people on the fringes would literally look at a candy bar and a hand grenade and pick up the hand grenade and tell them, "Oh, look what I did! I'm safer." No, you should have picked up the Hershey's bar. Can't kill yourself with that. Oh, if you have an older relative, luckily I don't have to deal with this. None of my family is into Fox News. Nobody watches this bullshit. Hell, no one in my house watches cable TV news. Use the parental restrictions on TVs, and next time you're at your parents' or your uncle's or your grandparents' house, just block Fox News and Newsmax off their television. Just tell them cable's broken. I know it's not nice, but they keep feeding this shit and eggs. I don't know what they're going to tell their audience to justify this, but it's going to be pretty fucking bad. It's going to be pretty fucking bad. Will we make it to the midterms? That's up in the air. Again, if he thinks he has license to destroy a civilization, an entire nation, what does he think about Cuba? What does he think about Memphis or Minneapolis or Oakland? What if he just randomly picks a city that's nothing much is going on and he decides, well, I need to go destroy it? When will Congress act? I have no, I think the calls for the 25th Amendment, whether they come from the right or the left or the fringes, I don't care. I think asking J.D. Vance to lead is the weakest of hopes. You might as well ask for Jesus to come back this morning. Ain't gonna happen because he ain't real. There's no real leadership in the government right now. That's the problem. Hey, to a lot of people, Barry Goldwater was a fucking whack job. I get it. The guy was hardcore. Okay. But at least he has the presence of mind and the sense of honor to lead the delegation to the residents in the White House and confront Nixon personally, lean over the coffee table and tell him, you no longer have support, Mr. President. You have nobody's support. You don't even have my support anymore. Okay. Where did that go? Do you see J.D. Vance doing a Barry Goldwater? I don't. Because Barry Goldwater killed the king. He just did it legally under the Constitution. You see J.D. Vance doing this? You see Mike Grinder Johnson doing this? The King Twink? No. That's why I think, honestly, if this goes south, he's going to stroke out any day. His hand looked like a balloon yesterday. Rumors he was in Walter Reed. Don't know if that was true or not. I have no idea. But he's obviously sick. Okay, so when he does stroke out, I did love the picture where his hair blew over, and you can tell, he is entirely bald. The whole thing is a comb over with Aquanet. It's really weird. When he goes, do you think J.D. Vance is going to step up and do the job? No, he's going to collapse. He's a weak ass man. Okay. Mike Johnson won't ascend. If I had to put a bet, even though I keep saying this, I hate Kalshi, I hate the prediction markets. We don't need to do gambling at every mobile app and destroy the finances of every young man. But if I had to go bet an Irish bookie or Kalshi or something, I'd put a bet by the end of 2027, Senator Thune would be the president of the United States through a session. At least we'd have somebody intelligent in the White House, because there isn't one. Well, all we have is sycophants, acolytes, and lackeys, and that includes the vice president, and that's a problem. When you abdicate leadership from the very start, and they abdicate day one of his first term, they set this all up to happen. Now, the problem is if you start wiping out Iran, you take out Karg Island, the attacks there started this morning, you're going to have fuel prices, oil, liquefied natural gas, and all the downstream fuel products. You're gonna see hyperinflation in those numbers. The oil prices are going to go absolutely crazy unless there's price manipulation. And we're up 3% today. We're at 116 right now. Yeah, we're going to see $150 a barrel of oil. We're going to see $10 a gallon diesel, especially out here. And then you're going to see mass inflation. You're going to see restaurants go out of business. People are barely hanging on as it is now. Now you're going to start adding diesel fuel charges to everything. Amazon already said to their sellers they're adding fuel charges. We're heading toward a massive, massive problem here. And it's all because the Mad King, nobody will check his power. In a system meant and designed for checks and balances. And I think this is going to be a red line for me. I have to take a moral stance. I'm not going to vote for anybody anymore that doesn't want to make major change. All these just trim it around the edge political types, I'm done with you. Okay. I want 5% off the military budget every year for 10 years. If they tell me they need to go invade another Iran or another Cuba, another Venezuela, tax the billionaires. 10% war tax across the board on all their assets, revenue, money, and corporations if they want to fight a war. Stop telling us we have to pay for everything, and you want to take away medical research, education, public science, public health to pay for your fucking escapades. escapades that quickly have turned into calls for mass murder. Shit, we literally put the Serbians in The Hague, put them on trial, and they're sitting in prison this fucking very day over shit just like that's being called for this morning. Well, that's what I wanted to do this morning. I wanted to speak my mind, go on the record. I don't agree with any of this, especially when he says the output of this is keeping the oil and setting up a toll road. Well, I know where that money's going. It's going to Qatar. It's going to a slush fund. And this is another thing. Where's Congress on this slush fund from Venezuela? He's got billions of dollars sitting overseas that he's personally controlling through a campaign donor, and you have nothing to say about this. And this is on top of the Bitcoin bullshit. This is on top of Jared Kushner's bullshit. This is on top of Uday and Qusay Trump's bullshit. Making money for themselves through their connection to the political office. What about Hunter Biden's laptop? And I said the whole way through with Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden's dirty, throw him in jail. I don't care. He doesn't have any privilege. The kids of the president don't have any protection, privilege, or immunity. Okay? So if he lied on a gun form or he lied on his taxes, fuck him. Send him to jail. Do I care? No. Oh. All right. I'll probably be back on later. We'll see how this develops. But the whole morals, ethics of this doesn't stand at any test. This is wrong. What we're embarking on is not liberating Europe. It's not pushing the Japanese back across the Pacific. It's none of that. This is just the wholesale destruction of a nation so a mad king can get his jollies off. And his little sycophantic circle around him will go, oh, what a good job. You're such a hero. How many of Medal of Honors do you think you deserve, Mr. President? Because the speech he gave the other day about the rescue pretty much sounded like he was personally responsible for the rescue. Not the SOAR guys and the special operators and the Special Operation Air Rescue and the Naval Infantry Special Operators. No, he made it sound like he was personally responsible for getting the pilot out. You're dealing with a megalomaniac madman. Okay, are you ready for the consequences? Because one of the consequences is you're going to be poor. One of the biggest consequences is you're not going to have a rural hospital. One of the biggest consequences is millions of Americans weren't already going to retire in Gen X. Now probably 80% of us won't. We'll be working our entire lives to pay for the hyperinflation caused by a fucking oil war. A oil war they had no plan for. They had no strategy. So now they're just calling for murdering everybody. Not good. Okay, I'll talk to you real soon. I'll be back online. Until next time, please think about it.